In this video, I'm going to be setting up the XbotGo Chameleon. Now, as you can see here, I am placing the phone which you use for the recording of the video. So you can do this horizontally, or you can fit the phone in as a portrait mode and film the games that you're filming for that. So this is a sports recorder. It's really cool. I do have the previous version gimbal that they have, and this is the upgraded Chameleon version where the camera that tracks the game is now on the device itself. So what I've done here is I've set up the device outside. We are now at some paddle courts to see what the recording's like, and I've also got the really cool umbrella that comes with it, so this can be covering the XbotGo Chameleon. They are not waterproof, but a bit of spray from rain and that is fine, so this little umbrella can help protect that. So what I've done is I've set it up. I've got the remote which comes with it, and you can record from the remote to the device. So as you can see here, it's recording, then you can stop the recording, and you can also then take photos from it as well. And then what you can do is you can move the camera itself, so you can rotate it left and right. It does a full 360, so there's no worry about anything getting stuck or not seeing any of the scenes that you want to film in that. So that's awesome. And then the last button is to record any events that might take place. So if someone scores a great shot, you press that, it will mark the video, so you can go back and watch that and see that that part of the video has got something important that happened. One thing I do want to show you is the firmware updates. Now, when updating this, you need to have your account for the app with the XbotGo app. You need to log in, go to your settings, and then you will see firmware updates. And what you need to do is make sure that your firmware is updated for this device, because it keeps things up and current. They release new sports, new tracking, improved tracking, all that kind of stuff. So make sure it's updated, because if you do leave it a bit long, you can have an issue trying to catch up with those updates. So there are quite a few to do it. And what it does is it will download the update as you saw there. It will then transfer that to the Chameleon. The Chameleon will then run that update on itself. Once it's finished, you'll see the lights go off. It switches off on its own, and then it will boot up on its own again. All the lights will come on. You can see it glowing on either side where the logo is. It flashes, and then it will connect successfully again to the app, where you can go to the settings again and see for the next firmware update, which you can then run, and the same process will happen. So just remember to keep the XbotGo Chameleon updated with firmware to make sure you've got all the latest and greatest updates from the company, so your games are tracked and everything is awesome. So let's go back to the paddle courts. So what I've done is I've used the tripod that I've got from Xbot as well. This can go all the way up to 4 meters in height. Now over here with the auto analysis AI, which I spoke about earlier, where you can tag things, you can then go back and watch what was going on at the game. Now what's really cool is the camera tracks on its own. As you can see, it's moving by itself here. So that's tracking left and right, because we're at the back of the court. So for tennis and sports like that, and pickleball and paddle, which I hope they will add as a sport to select, this then tracks the activity that's going on in the game. So you don't need to worry about moving the camera or trying to worry about getting the shot. It will do it on its own for you. So it's really cool. The tracking is more accurate than the previous gimbal. And if you have an Apple Watch, what's really cool is you can use the watch as a remote control as well. So you can use that to record, you can use it to stop recording, you can use it to take photos, and you can use it to move left and right if you want to speed up the movement to catch up with any of the events going on that you want to see. Now we'll move into some football here for training, and what I did was I was recording in the evening. You can see it's a bit darker. That's actually darker off camera. The camera's actually got quite a lot of light coming through. Now this is a training session. You can see the camera's automatically following the players that have the ball, and in the background you'll see some goalies practicing, and now and then the ball will come across and it will start tracking that ball, so it will lose tracking of the one on the left and do that. So just bear in mind, if you are watching a training game, there is a bit of the crisscross that could happen, but when you're playing on a pitch and there's a full match going on, that's the only field it can watch and track, so you don't need to worry about it veering off and watching other things and going on. Now as you can see, as I started the video, we were basically as high as the players, and the higher you go, the better the recording is. I've spoken to the support team at XbotGo, and they say this helps because the tracking is easier from a higher height, so there's no crisscrossing of players or any objects in front of the players and the ball that it's following. So the higher the mounting, the better it is, especially for football where the fields are much bigger, where it has to follow and zoom in when the action is taking place. So yes, it does auto zoom on its own, so just remember these things. And also with regards to the lighting, make sure you have good lighting. So this is low light tracking. It still works well, but they advise to obviously have much brighter light, so during daytime games and things like that, to just record and get the best possible view of the game and record everything that's happening so you don't miss anything. So as we can see, it's tracking really well. Those two arrows that popped up during this scene was when it lost tracking from the other ball that came into the zone that it is tracking now. So this was the practicing. It worked really well, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It's actually quite accurate in how it follows the game, so I'm quite impressed with that. So here we have another game. So here we've got some paddle going on, some good players there. We've got a bit of a joker here. There he is. So yeah, so that's some good fun over there. So I placed this right at the back of the court. Now this is where you should place the camera if you are watching a tennis match, and it's roughly 4 meters behind the baseline. Now you can see I'm moving it up and down to try and get a better view of the game, because we are not seeing the bottom left corner and the bottom right corner of the players. So you can see they move off screen, and then the camera does follow them if they're the ones playing the ball, but you don't see all the action taking place. Now with a paddle court that's covered, the issue is you can't go very high up. So what I did was I tried to move down the one sideline to then see if I could capture the movements in the bottom right corner and more in the bottom left, but I couldn't move further back because there is a cage or a fence behind me. So I'm only 2 meters away from the court, which isn't ideal, but it still captures most of the game, which is good. And I've obviously sped it up to see more of the game and what's going on, but I still need to test a few things, where I can place it, how I can place it, and what's the best view. And the support team are looking at paddle as a sport as well, so they I did mention that to them. They said they're going to be looking at it with the engineers and everything like that. So that's nice to see that they keep adding sports. They're adding more tracking abilities and things like that, faster tracking and all of that kind of stuff. So again, make sure the cameras are updated, the app's updated. They've just released a new version of the app, so there's a nice interface there. It's got tutorials and everything, so check them out. It's really good, and overall I'm actually really impressed with it. It worked really well. You can see it's recording the game nicely. Certain games you can record in 60 FPS. So, but this one's recording in 1080p, which is still very clear. You can still see what's going on. It's great for analysis. You can watch the game later, see what things to improve, what happened during the game, and again you can press that button on the remote to highlight certain areas. So if there was a really good point that was won, or a really cool rally that you watched, or a really cool goal, or whatever that might have been in the game, and whatever sport you were watching, you'll be sure that you've captured something and you can go back and review it and watch it and relive that moment. Now what I wanted to do here with the paddle from an angle from the side of the court was to track a person. Now you can track a person automatically with the app on the touchscreen, but then you have to obviously increase the tripod height. As you can see, it started passing the cage of the paddle court, but it's still kept the person that is being tracked in the scene, and you can see it does follow the player. It does zoom in and out when there is certain things happening, and it actually tracked really well for the speed of the game, the way it's moving. You can then analyze the player's movement. You can see their footwork, how they're swinging, if they're not swinging correctly, if they should move better, things like that. And it will do that on the football pitch as well. So you can do tracking of a person, but again, you need to make sure that there's no crisscrossing of players too often. So the height of the camera and the XbotGo needs to be quite high. So you can see here it's zooming out to capture the person again, and then once it's found them, it carries on tracking them. So overall, the person tracking is actually really good. I did like this feature about it, and it does a full 360. So if you have a camera on a field and you're doing certain drills or movements and stuff, and you move around the camera, it will follow you in a full 360, which I will show you now and test. And you can also activate that on your own with gestures from your hand, so you don't need the remote, you don't need to press on the screen, all those kind of things. So it is very versatile and it works really well. So here I am in the garden. I then do the gesture of the OK sign, and you can see the camera start adjusting and it starts following me. And then what I did was I just started moving around, just taking a few steps to the right, a few steps to the left, nice and slow. I am quite close to the camera, so again, you need to bear in mind if you are too close, it does lose tracking, which I'll show you in a few minutes what happens. So there's the full 360. I quickly change direction and it carries on tracking me. It keeps me fairly in the middle of the scene, which is good. And again, once I start moving further away, the tracking improves because it obviously can see more of what's happening in that. So what I do then is I try and move left and right a little quicker, but obviously I'm further away, so the tracking's better. I do a little bit of a jog to the left, and then what I do is I hide behind the wall to see what it does, and the camera starts auto-focusing to see and zooming to try and find me. And as I came out, it found me again, and it just carried on. So this is an awesome camera. You can see I've come right close. I'm about an arm's length away. It's still tracking fine, but if you move really fast, it does lose you. So you'll see over here what I do is I move towards it, get close to it, and I switch off the gesture, I switch on the gesture, and then I do a quick movement here and I run really close to it, and that's when it loses the tracking. So just remember, anything too close, you need to just bear that in mind. But then it picks me up again once I came back into the frame. So what I'll do now is you'll see the rest of the scenes where I start talking about the camera. So what can I say about this XbotGo Chameleon? This device is really cool. I really like this. It's heavy, it's solid, so you know it's quality. You can mount it on the tripods that they supply as well, or any others that you might have. And yeah, it's got a great feel to it, a bit of a velvety feel. It looks good, comes in a couple of colors. This is the green one that I've got, which is really nice. And then as you've seen in the video, your phone fits in at the top. The lens is there, it rotates up and down about 30 degrees, and it's also got a field of view of around 120 degrees, and it does the full rotation, which you saw in the video. And then obviously it comes with the remote, with all the cool little features on the buttons and that. But overall, this is really good. It's quite an upgrade from the gimbal, which I've got the gimbal as well. And this is very accurate. It's a very accurate following, as you saw in the video. With paddle, obviously paddle is not one of the sports that they cover yet with this Chameleon, but it did, when you saw when I was lifting up the tripod, it did lose the person and then it started tracking them again. But what I found and what I've been discussing with the support team at XbotGo is that the higher the camera is, obviously for certain sports, then there will be less interference with people crisscrossing and things going in the way, and it loses any of that action, what's going on. So we did notice that in the low light football that I was recording. So when it was higher up, the recording of the game and the practice that they were doing was much more accurate. So just remember those few things when mounting it, and also with the light. You know, low light doesn't work that well. So this is the lens that would track it, and then obviously you've got your phone camera that records it, where before the gimbal was using both cameras to track and record. So it works really well. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to be recording more paddle games with it. I'm working out the angle so I can get more of the court into it. As you saw, I went more to the side, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to do a few tracking shots to see, you know, how players play, and, you know, track myself and things like that. And yeah, it's cool. The gesture where you do the OK sign, that started tracking, as you saw in the last bit of the video. It works well. Obviously, if you're really close up to it, like I was an arm's length, and then when you run past it, it won't pick you up. So it's not that quick. But when it's got distance, it follows the game and everything quite well. So overall, I'm very impressed with it. It's a really good product. Go over, have a look at their website. I'll put some links in the description below. Check them out, see the products that they've got. It's really cool stuff. So if you're looking to track your games, analyze any games, just review it or enjoy you know, even just sharing the game remotely with the option of doing that while it's there, and people who can't attend the game can watch it remotely. It's a really good product, and there's no subscription fees, which is really good. So everything is stored locally on the phone that you've got, and then you can download that into your camera roll, or you can upload it to the cloud. They give you 20 gigs of storage for free. So yeah, what's not to like? It's a really cool system. They've done a really good job, and I just want to say thanks to XbotGo for sending me this Chameleon to review. I really enjoyed reviewing it, and I hope to see you guys in my next review. Cheers.